Ang magbuhos ng dugo para sa bayan ay kagitingang hindi malilimutan. Ang buhay na inialay sa lupang mahal, mayaman sa aral at kadakilaan.
What I remember about her is that she was the quiet type. We never had a fight. She was studious, obedient to our parents, and she didn't have any bad habits. Yeah.
As a young girl, she was very meek, timid. Yung tipong hindi makabasag pinggan ba?
Ang pinaka-striking na feature niya, ang ganda niya. Ang ganda ng mukha niya, ang ganda ng balat niya, ang kinis niya, gano'n. Medyo kakaiba kasi ang image ng aktivista, medyo grim at saka determined. Siya hindi, siya, very soft-spoken. Meron siyang lambing pag nagsasalta, laging nakangiti, gano'n. Tapos, siya cool. Yung hindi siya natatakot or at least hindi siya nagpapakita ng takot.
Well, a lot of people kept saying, even at that time, that she was pretty. I think she was. She had soulful eyes. She always wore her hair long. She's the demure type. She was never boisterous, but she was friendly. She had a lot of friends.
She's morena. Tapos maamo yung mukha niya ba?
She was beautiful according to their standards, and she had brains.
In fact, nung elementary siya, she was first honors since grade 1 to grade 6. Then when she was in high school, she was also in the honor list.
Ang fondest memory ko sa kanya, yung lagi siyang nakangiti. Yun yung kakaiba sa kanya yung hindi mo siya nakikitaan ng yung nagsiserious pero hindi siya nagagalit. At least hindi ko siya nakita nagagalit.
Tuwang-tuwa yan pag nabibigyan ko ng mga hand-me-downs. My graduation dress in high school, she wore it when she graduated from elementary. She was taller than me. At wala siyang reklamo kahit luma yung suot niya. Tapos hiraman kami, lahat, sapatos, ganyan. I remember when I was in college, there was a rally in Embassy. I was surprised to see her and my youngest brother, si Boyet, na nag-join. High school pa sila, both of them were in high school. So I was so mad. Sabi ko, anong ginagawa niyo rito? Ba't kayo sumama? Kasi yung mga taga-UP Los Baños, may isang bus pala. Na ayun, sumama sila. High school, imagine.
Rizalina, we called her Lina. Lina became an activist mainly because of the situation in UP Los Baños. At that time, UP Los Baños was what you can say a hotbed of activism. And every serious student, whether it was in Diliman or in UP, was influenced one way or the other by activism, whether it was on a full-time commitment or in the way he or she decided and thought about things. Activism during my youth was, I would say, the greatest influence.
noon pa lang, meron na siyang, she already had this, perspective of revolutionary, ideology.
Marami mga bali-balita na before dun sa nag-meet kami, galing siya sa iba pang mga assignment, lagi siyang hinaharana ng mga binata. Katunayan, yun ang isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit kailangan siyang ilipat ng trabaho. Kasi syempre, panahon ng martial law hinahanap siya, hinahunting siya ng military. Kaya security risk yun dahil merong tao sa baryo na mukhang hindi taga roon at laging hinaharana. Kaya napilitang ilipat siya ng trabaho. Nung ilipat siya ng trabaho, doon ko siya na. Nung parating na siya, itong mga kasama namin sa bahay, medyo aligaga, hindi mapakali. At nung papasok na, tinitignan kung ano yung itsura nung dumarating. And ang sinabi, keep ang pakpak. Yan ang sinabi ng isang lalaki. Ibig sabihin, hindi nakaakbay. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa mag-on yung dalawang dumarating. Sabihin, pwede pang ligawan si Rizalina. Crush na crush nitong isa si Rizalina eh.
Sulong mga kasama, wag matakot. Ang gulong ng kasaysay umiikot. Sa pakikibaka, marami ang unos.
Grabe yung commitment niya. Siya matapang siya. Grabe yung passion niya. Ganun naman talaga siya eh. Whatever she does, she really does it with passion.
I'd look forward every time to an opportunity that we would be together when we were already in the underground. I think the military learned that my sister was among the key leaders of the propaganda movement of the underground in Southern Tagalog.
Isa ito sa mga sulat ni Lina na naitago ko. Ang petsa ay November 29, 1974. Mga mahal na utol, isang maalab na yakap bati sa inyo. Long time no hear kayo from me. Sorry.
Palagi rin akong busy, kaya pinalalahok ko na lang sa mami ang pangamusta ko sa inyo. Inaasam-asam namin ang muling pagbabalik nyo rito.
She sent word that she wanted to see me. And so I did. It was in Katipunan, if I remember right. And that was when she told me that quite a few of their comrades had already gone missing. And she wanted a safe house. We decided to meet again on a certain date. And she never came.
Tayong inaapi ay may angking lakas. Kabundukang Sierra Madre ang katumbas. Tigreng papel ang imperialistang gahaman. Tiyak na magagapi sa himagsikan.
Ito sa telegram from Enrile na your daughter Rizalina Ilagag died in an encounter. Of course, we didn't believe that. Never. She never died in an encounter. Pinatay ng mga military ang aking sister.
Ang pagkawala sa kanila talagang sinundan sila. Siguro na surveillance na sila. Tapos, kinuha na sila.
I learned that the intelligence team that kidnapped my sister and her companions was called Ground Team 205. It was a composite team of several intelligence units in Southern Tagalog. It was led by a certain Colonel Dalido.
we never saw her body.
So, nakakalungkot yun. At saka nakaka-depress ng konti. 3 buwan ako nag-depress nung panahon na yun. Kasi, syempre, you have to ask a few questions, di ba? Bakit hindi ka kasali ron? Parang feeling guilty ka, gano'n.
Masakit na nawala siya at a very young age.
I was 23 years old. 23 years old nung mawala siya.
It's not far-fetched to conclude that my sister and the 2 other women in the group were also raped. I don't think they'd keep them alive up to this point. They must have murdered all of them after some time.
Tapos, siguro, yung unit na kumuha sa kanila, nainip. Imbis na dalhin pa sila sa kulungan, pinatay na sila. Yun ang malamang na nangyari doon. Ganun ka-brutal nung panahon na yun. You just disappear and nobody knows where you are hanggang ngayon.
I salute her. Kasi grabe yung commitment nga niya. Parang inihalay niya talaga yung buhay niya para sa masa, sa sambayanan.
Ang tanging paraan doon, yun lang mga gumawa, umamin. Kung medyo may konti silang konsyensya, baka naman nakaraan na yon, bago sila mamatay, sabihin na nila kung saan nila nilibig yung mga tao para naman magkaroon na ng closure yung kabanata niya ng buhay.
My final thought is that, well, it was a tragedy that the thing happened during martial law. But that is not the greater tragedy now. The greater tragedy now is that we have forgotten what happened to them and why they did go to such an extent as to offer their lives to be able to pursue a vision for our country and people.
Ang magbuhos ng dugo para sa bayan ay kagitingang hindi malilimutan. Ang buhay na inialay sa lupang mahal, mayaman sa aral at kadakilaan. Sulong mga kasama, wag matakot. Ang gulong ng kasaysay ay umiikot. Sa pakikibaka marami ang unos, subalit ang bukas ay may layang dulot.